Hi everyone, New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield coming to you live today to talk about my Rivers Fire vlog. And I've been basically doing Rivers Fire. Basically what I've been doing is I've been doing Rivers Fire vlog talking about all of the things that go into self-publishing and writing a book. And I'm basically sharing all of that with you on this vlog. Each book that I write, each book that I publish, I'll be doing a separate vlog for that. So this is the third vlog for Rivers Fire. For those of you that are not familiar with Rivers Fire, it is the third book in the Dating a Werewolf series. This is Rain's Thunder, book 1. Book 2 is Rhyme's Reason. I'll link both of those up in the video description if you want to check them out. But it's all about, I guess a reviewer put it the right way when they said this is the Bachelor or the Bachelorette werewolf edition. So basically it's you've got these siblings who have to get married. They have to get married. If they don't get married within a year after their father's passing, they lose their inheritance. They are the pack leaders. They are the leaders of the werewolf pack for Colorado. And they have to have that inheritance to basically run the pack. Otherwise, the pack could basically dissolve and they won't be able to run it as efficiently as possible. So all three decide that they're going to follow through with their father's final wishes and get married. Now, the father left a list of 10 bachelors or bachelorettes, in the case of Rivers Fire, that he recommends they marry, but they do not have to marry them. So they pull out an ancient process called the Matings game, which actually is done by many, many packs. And they pull out this process that has been done for centuries, basically to go ahead and find their mate. So they pull in a lady who is the mating games master, basically, and she runs the entire process, and she sets up the dates and gets the couples together and really just kind of runs it. Kind of like, the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, only this is run by, an ancient process, and it's, the mystical gods get involved, and all kinds of fun paranormal stuff happens. Of course, when you've got werewolves mating, they sometimes find their true mates or their solid mates, and when they mate with that true mate, their fated mates, what happens is they find the perfect other half of their soul, kind of thing. So that's really about what this series is about. River's now going to find his mate, whether it be his fated mate or his mate for now or whatever he's going to do. He's going to find his mate, and he's going to be going through the process. And hopefully he does it within the year so that they can inherit their inheritance. So that's basically the whole gist of the story. Book 1 was Rain's Thunder. That was Rain finding her mate. Book 2 was Rhyme's Reason. That was Rhyme finding her mate. And book 3 is Rivers Fire, and that's him finding his mate. So let's talk a little bit about writing, the process, all of that stuff. So if you watched my other 2 vlogs on this series, then you know that I've had a little struggle, with basically just getting back into it. I think really more than anything else. I've really had some major issues with getting back into the process, getting back into the, the characters, all of that. So I've really been struggling on getting back in that. Now, many of you know that I did take a hiatus. And so that is the reason why, because I have to reacclimate myself with the series, the characters, all of that fun stuff. And it's becoming quite a challenge. So, I'm just working through the process. So this vlog is going to kind of share with you that process. So last week, I really focused in on outlining and characters. And I decided to basically scrap everything I wrote for NaNoWriMo. I might use some of those scenes, but I'm starting from fresh, totally clean slate. And I have the outline almost completely written. I have the characters pretty much taken care of. In fact, what I've done was I've developed a Michelle Fox, who's actually coming on this channel live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about her book, Rare Stakes. I actually am going to, and here you can check out that. I'll go ahead and link it up in the comments. But definitely come to that live chat if you can, because you want to catch that with Michelle Fox. But she had mentioned on our author panel last Friday when we came live and we answered questions for people who want to write books and character development. We're basically focusing on character development and that kind of thing. And she had mentioned a process of picking out one specific verb or adverb or adjective, basically describing one word describing a character. And every scene that you have that character in, that character takes that emotional piece. So basically you've got one character that's always sultry, or you got one character that's always exuding sex, or you've got one character that's always romantic. She's idealistic. And so everything she talks and says and everything she does is idealistic. You've got another character that is tough. And so she's tough as nails, and everything she does, she's tough, but yet she's still being, thanks for that heart there. Yet she's still being, romantic. So you've got that romance piece that's coming into play too, because this is a romance and a mystery, because, well, that's what the series is all about. So I've decided to take those 10 bachelorettes, and each one of them now have one word that describes how they handle every scene in the book. And I think it's really helping me a lot. It really helped me to really tighten up the outline. And now I've got a couple more subplots I want to put in there. I'm just deciding on those subplots. That's why my outline's not 100% complete. But in Rhyme's Reason, we had a lot of murders. If you actually read Rhyme's Reason, it was a mystery. Like, she was going through the mating games, she was trying to find her mate, and the guys that she was interested in were dropping dead around her. So that's not, it's like, she's like, what is happening? Is my family cursed? And they finally discover what it is. I'm not going to tell you the plot, or the twist, but when you're reading the book, you'll kind of start to see it. I didn't make it too red herring or anything like that, but it definitely will shock you. It will surprise you if you read the book. So in Rhyme's Reason, it was mystery and romance. Now in River's Fire, I wanted to be very romantic. So it's Rhyme's Reason was more mystery, less romance, because Rhyme is very logical. So her character just didn't play up the romance as well as the idealistic Rain, who is all about, she's idealistic. She believes, even though she's tough as nails, she really wants that fairy tale romance. So she found that. And Rhyme is more about, she's all business. She's a lawyer. She just romance wasn't number one on her plate. So it had to be more mystery, and then the romance was the added elements to that one. Now, River's Fire, River is a very tough guy, but he has an emotional side to him that I really want to bring out in River's Fire. It kind of showed a little bit in the other two books where he was being a good brother and that kind of thing. But this one, I really want that. He's tough as nails. He's the pack leader. He was raised by a really stubborn, tough father who made sure that he was really hard on him. He was hard on both River and Rhyme. And Rain was his baby, so he wasn't so hard on her. But so he's got that, rough, gruff. He will save anybody, but he has that romantic side. So he is like a Prince Charming in the making, but just a little bit tougher kind of thing. A werewolf Prince Charming, maybe. So his romance is actually going to play a higher piece in this series than the mystery. And the mystery is actually going to be, there's going to be a kidnapping in this book. There's not going to be any murders, because I did a lot in Rhyme's Reason. I don't want to murder any more people in this series for now. But there's going to be some mafia stuff going on with one of the bachelorettes. Actually is part of the Irish mob. She's the heiress of the Irish mob. Of course, Dad picked our dearly deceased father, River's father, picked the bachelorette. So they're very powerful, strong women. But he's going to bring that romantic side in there as well. So he's going to have the opportunity to show that he can be the Prince Charming, the White Knight, the savior. He's going to have the opportunity to show that he can save his mate. He can save his pack. He can save his family. He's going to be the champion through the book, but the romance is going to play a big piece. And then there's going to be the mystery as to what is going on with this family and why have they been cursed for this last year. There is a family that is trying to destroy this family from inheriting that money. They're doing everything in their power to make that happen. That is the only key I'm going to give you for the plot, for the mystery. But so that kind of gives you an idea. So that is where we're at. I've done all of most of the outlining. I got a couple more subplots I want to work on. I got a couple more character pieces. So I will be done with all of this probably today or tomorrow, wrapping things up on our writing sprints tomorrow, our write-ins tomorrow morning. And so if you can join us, definitely join us, please. I'd love to see you there. It's 8 a.m. Eastern time on this channel, and we go live, and we basically spend an hour or two working on our books together. You know, everybody in their own area, but we work on our books together or whatever we're working on. So definitely join us there. So we are going to, in this in this vlog, I wanted to talk about the plot and all of that stuff and the characterization, and thank Michelle Fox for bringing that up, because I think that really fixed my issue with characters and also helped me with my plotting. And then I wanted to talk to you about, I'm so excited. So as a self-published author, we get to create our book covers. And so yesterday, I spent probably 4 hours working on the book cover. Now I actually hire somebody to make the book cover. I don't do the book covers myself. I did for a while, but then I decided, you know what, my time is better spent actually working on the books and then hiring somebody to make the book cover. And you can find, if you're a writer and you want to find, thanks, Bella. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. And if you're a writer and you want to find a cover artist, and please, I do this on a budget, so I'm going to share with you my trick. I actually find great cover artists on Fiverr.com, and usually about $25 to $30 for a book, and that usually includes a paperback. So this is one that I bought on Fiverr.com. So you can just see, I mean, it's a great book. It's a great book cover, and I had it made, so I didn't do it myself, and I think I spent $25 on the book cover. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, is what I'm saying, on book covers if you find the right people. Now, be careful when you're going on Fiverr, because you want to make sure that you find somebody that's got a lot of reviews and has done a lot of orders and stuff, and they're kind of in your genre. You don't want to. I know, right? That is amazing. That is an amazing price for this book cover. Now, just so you know, I actually, thanks, Megan. I know, like you see a lot of people who, they're paying a lot of money for book covers, and some book covers are worth it. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm a genre author. I write genre books, which means that I mass produce books. I've got 30 books, and I wrote that in a short period of time, and I'm going to go back into that. I'm not a literary author, so I don't write literary fiction, so my books are genre. So you want to find something that's genre based. And, when you're spending $150, $300 on a cover, sometimes it's just easier to go this route. And so I went there. So we will see what that cover is, because I'm supposed to get the first draft for the cover that I basically procured last night, 4 hours of working on it. But I found a cover artist that I'm going to use, and I found the pictures that I wanted them to put in there, and I described what I wanted, and then I gave them the details on what everything's supposed to go on there. So about 4 hours of my time was spent doing that, and now I've given it all to them. They're going to send it back to me. I'm going to get it on the 10th, so I'm excited. I can't wait to release that. I will show it to you here on the vlog and on the channel. But yeah, so let me just, while we're talking about this for a minute or so, I can put this in here. So when I did this cover, it was $30. Honestly, I can't remember the exact price, but I know it was in that price point. I had to go in and take so basically when you do that, you pick the pictures and everything else. So that's what it's why I spent 4 hours last night trying to find the right picture, trying to find the right combination, and figuring out what kind of theme I wanted. Rivers Fire, of course, there's going to be fire in the background, right? So you've got a man who's taking off his shirt, and you got a wolf, because it's a Dating a Werewolf series, and then you've got the fire in the background, and then all the colors and the color schemes that you want to use and that kind of thing. So when I put this together for the cover artist, I've procured the picture here, this picture here, these pictures here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are 4 separate pictures that I basically took the background out and I just left the guys on there, and then the background picture, and that's what I sent off to them. So you still have to do work when you're working with a cover artist, even when you're working with a cover artist that that you've been working with a long time. They're going to ask you for the pictures, no matter what price they're charging, unless, I've never done really high priced covers, but maybe they do it differently. But they're going to ask you for the pictures. They're going to ask you for what kind of pictures you want. And a lot of them will say, hey, go onto this site, tell me which picture you want. I will pay for it, for the licensing, and then you just tell me which one. And that's what the lady that I hired last night said, but I had already picked out the pictures because I actually have Adobe stock of photos that I actually have a license through. And so I pay a monthly fee to be able to license the pictures so that I can use them without having any royalty issues or any copyright issues or anything like that. So, I already picked out the pictures when I had contacted her, so I wouldn't have did that. So that kind of gives you an idea. You can go either way, but as a self-published author, if you're going to be doing your covers, whether you're doing them yourself or if you're going to be doing them and having somebody do them for you, you will have to pick out the pictures. So you have to know what you want. Megan, you said, is it just for the front of the book, or can you do both front and back at that price? This was both front and back. So this is the back. So, and I even got my picture on there. I'm not a blonde anymore, but upkeep with the toddler is kind of hard keeping up with the blonde. So I went dark blonde for a while. But yeah, so that's a great question. They have different pricing. You can go on Fiverr. I think $25, $30 I paid for both the ebook cover and the front. And in fact, last night, the lady that I'm using, and when I show you the cover, I'll give you her link, but the lady I'm using, it was $30 for the ebook cover and the back. So she wanted to know the trim size as well as what I wanted on the back. And so basically when you do that, that's a great question, Megan. When you do the book covers, when you order them, you will have to know how big your manuscript is. And how many pages it is, because they will have to do what's called a trim size, which is this size of the book, right? They're going to do the trim size. And then they're going to have to know how many pages they are so they can know how big this spine has to be when they make it. And then, of course, you're going to have your blurb for the back, anything. Basically, you're going to want to have a finished manuscript before you order your paperback cover. Now, what I did was I basically said, hey, here, give me the ebook cover because I want to go ahead and get that out for marketing purposes and start letting people know the book's coming. And then also once it's outlined and it's mostly written, I'll probably put it up for pre-order. So, and we'll talk about that in the vlog as well. But so I said, I will get you the dimensions for the paperback when the finished manuscript has been edited. So you always want to make sure that it's been edited too, because your editor could do a lot of changes in your book and then your spine isn't going to be the right size. So make sure it's completely edited and you've got it 100% ready to go. And formatting for paperback and ebook are totally different. So if you're lucky enough to have an editor like I do that edits for me and kind of puts it all together for me in the way I need it, you got that. Otherwise, you're going to want to learn the dimensions if you're self-publishing so that you can make sure that you can change up the dimensions and have it ready to go. I haven't published on CreateSpace yet since my hiatus, which Rivers Fire will be the first one. So I don't know if they've made any changes. I know right now KDP, which is Kindle's publishing platform, KDP. When I go in and I publish for Amazon, of course, I'll do this on Amazon again, and I'll do Kindle Unlimited and that kind of thing. I will be able to upload the Kindle ebook at the same time as I upload the paperback if I have everything that I need. So it's pretty important that you have the formatting. I'm not sure what kind of changes have gone into the formatting, but I do know other authors that have published recently, and they told me that there are some changes between the two formats. So it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that on the vlog as well as we continue this journey of publishing Rivers Fire. All right, so that is kind of what I wanted to talk about. Is the characters are in line now. The outline is almost completely finished. I'll probably have it done here shortly. Usually once I have an outline done for my book, it takes me a month to write my book. So, and that's usually the process. Now, if you're not an outliner, I get that. And sometimes it takes you a little bit longer. When I was not an outliner, I was just a pantster. When I was flying by the seat of my pants, it could take however long it took to write the book. But as an outliner, it's usually 3 to 4 weeks. I have a book finished, rough draft, if not already read through a couple times writing. So just outlining just makes the process so much easier for me. And I'm so glad that I finally just took the plunge and did it. Now everybody has their own writing process. Everybody writes their own way. I'm not telling you one way is better than the other. It isn't. It's what works for you. But for me, outlining works. So outline will be done hopefully this week, and then I will start writing the book. So the book was definitely on track to be released in February or March, depending upon how long we're going to go with the pre-order length of time. Good. My brain just would not function. Woo. Okay. So that is the update I wanted to give you for Rivers Fire vlog. I hope you're enjoying this series where I kind of share with you all of these little tips and tricks, because when I first published, and I'll just take a minute because I'm already over what I normally do, but when I first published my first book, I was just completely lost. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. And I'll be honest, I mean, I had no idea. I look back at my first book, and while it's a good book and it's one of my bestsellers and highest rated books, and people are still loving it, reading it. When I first published, I had no idea what I was doing, and I had to learn on the fly. And even after that, I've still learned things that I could have done differently for that. So I'm hoping this helps people who want to write. Bella, to answer your question, how long do you like to do pre-orders? I personally like to do pre-orders for the 90 days. That way it gets me time to get word out, get things going. I don't know if I'm going to do a pre-order for 90 days with Rivers Fire, because people have been waiting for this book for so long. I just want to get it out there for people to read, because I mean, you really have, for my fans, you have waited so long for this book that I just want to get it to you guys as soon as possible. So I'm thinking February, and it's not going to be a 3-month pre-order. It's not going to be a 90-day pre-order, but normally I like to do 90 days. 90 days gives me more than enough time to get the book 100% polished and deliverable to you, edited, everything in the process. And so 90 days is a good pre-order time frame. And I highly recommend doing it because it gives you time to market it, get it out to people, and then people can read it when it's actually released and they're excited about it, get the excitement. But Rivers Fire has been waiting too long. I need to get it out to you guys. Let's see, Bella, you also asked any outline recs, books, or method. Oh, outline recommendations. Okay. Yes. You know, Bella, I actually have a video that talks about outlining, and I'm probably going to show you guys my outline on one of these vlogs, but I'll link that up here too. But let me just tell you what I do. Now, everybody's outlining process is different, and whatever works for you. Just find what works best for you. My method is really simple. I got it from James Patterson. I took his master class on writing because I wanted to really delve into the mystery world along with my paranormal and romance. So I took his class, his master class, really worth the money. If you like taking classes, I highly recommend it. I'll link it up here, but he told us that you need to outline everything. So basically what he did was he would have a couple paragraphs for each chapter. Everything that's important to be delivered within that chapter needs to be in those couple of paragraphs so that you don't miss anything. So he would basically, I'm going to see if I have like a written copy here, kind of give you an example. I don't know if I do, because I transferred it all over. Okay, so here is like the rough draft of this. So basically I got chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, everything going on. And then this is just my written notes. I've actually transferred all of this to the manuscript, but while I was on vacation, I started writing notes up and figuring it out. But basically you have like every point or every plot point that you need to do needs to be in that paragraph for each chapter. So you open up a manuscript. This is what I do. Open up a manuscript, write chapter 1, title of the manuscript, whatever you're going to title it. Chapter 1, here's what needs to happen. And then chapter 2, here's what needs to happen. Chapter 3, here's what needs to happen. Then I just write within the manuscript. I just go into the manuscript that has the outline and I look at each chapter and I say, which scene do I want to write? Okay, let's write this one. Open it up. Get all my notes on what I need to do. It's all in the same place, so I don't have to search for anything. And then I just write, and then once that chapter's done, I made sure all those plot points have been hit in that chapter. I erase that outline chapter or that outline paragraph, and I've got my working manuscript within my outline. So that's my process. It works for me. It makes it really fast. My process goes really smoothly. If I get, I don't know. Some people believe writer's block. Some people believe that writer's block is not a writer's block. I personally think if you're stuck, you're stuck. Whether you call it writer's block or you call it something else, it is you're stuck. So if you're stuck on a chapter, move on to another one. That's what's great about outlining is that I might be on a chapter for date with somebody that I'm like, oh, this chapter's not working for me. I'll go to another chapter, write that chapter, and then come back to that chapter after I've had time to kind of work through it. And it really helps. And it makes it so easy. It's such an easy process to finish the book. And then the other recommendation I would say, as far as methods go, once you've written something, don't go back and look at it. Don't look at it until after you finish the whole manuscript. Then you do your read-throughs and then you make those changes. So it's kind of not part of the outline recommendation, but it is for my process. And so I thought I'd share it real quick. So definitely, that's my process. Does anybody else have processes that they use? If you have a video on it, link it up in this video description or the comments so that people can check it out too, because everybody's process is different. And that's what I'm going to tell you. You got to find what works for you. And then and stick with it. And be open to adjusting and making changes like I was. I was open to the idea of, okay, I'll outline James Patterson, you're prolific, you're awesome, so let's try it. I tried it and it works for me, but any other outline process that I did before then didn't work for me. For some reason, something had to click in my mind where I had to believe what they were telling me. And then once I believed that the process of outlining works, that's when I finally did it. I heard it many times before. I've heard it over and over and over again, but until it clicked here in my head, it didn't work for me. And so you just got to find what works for you. Writing is a process. It's creative. If you need to be open to, pantsing, then that's totally fine. If you want to try outlining, you got to be comfortable with it. And somebody's saying, well, this is the only way to do it. It's not. You're going to learn as you continue to grow as an author. Every one of my books I've learned over the process, every single one. I got 30 books. And every time I've written a new book, I've learned something new in the process, which is why I wish I had done this vlog for each one of those books, because then people could learn with me as I'm learning the process. But hopefully going forward, you guys will have that now by being able to watch these videos and kind of get in on my process. So so my outline recommendation, that's what I do. But my overall recommendation is find what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. And that's completely okay. There is nothing wrong. As long as you're writing and you're producing a book and you're getting it out there, then that's the process that works for you. Just change and adapt it as you go along, and be open to those changes and adaptations. Be open to, listening to what other people are saying, and then say, will this work for me or will this not work for me? Be open to even trying it. And if it doesn't work for you, then don't keep doing it. That's the kind of thing about being an author that's so wonderful, is that you improve every single time if you're open to what other people are saying. And if you get into the author community and you join into the author community and you start watching videos and you start reading vlogs and you start reading self-help books and taking what works and what doesn't work for you, you're going to find your process. And then you're going to be on this video. on your channel, sharing your process. So as you continue to publish a book, because that's what it is, we're all different, and because it's a creative, platform for us. Nothing works the same for everybody. So there's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as you're writing a book and you're continuing to do it, and then if you're getting stuck, you're reaching out for help and you're finding the help where you can find it and getting it, whether you do it. I mean, I'm doing all of this stuff for free just because I wish I had this when I was writing. But if you're reaching out and you're finding the help wherever you can get it, then, and continuing to grow and advance, you'll get that book out there sooner or later. When it's ready, you'll get it out there, and people are going to love it because your voice needs to be heard by somebody. That's why you're writing. So that's it for me today on this vlog, because this is longer than most of my vlogs. I usually try to keep it around 15 minutes. But I talk. So when I get people joining in on the conversation, I'm going to talk. Join us later on tonight with Michelle Fox, who's going to come and talk about her book, Rare Stakes. And that'll be live. You can ask any kind of questions to both Michelle or me during that live broadcast. And we are more than happy to answer any questions that we can answer on that live broadcast. So join us live, 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. And then I've got a couple other quick videos I'm going to do later on today, but they're basically a review of Hunt a Killer, and my daughter wants to talk about her radish box. So she wants to go on video and talk about her radish box, but we'll do it on the mom channel. But other than that, I'm pretty much about writing today. How about you? What are you up to today? Anytime, Bella, anytime. Your name is my daughter's name. I love that. Well, she's Isabella, but we call her Bella. Yeah, so I've got Hunt a Killer, Boxy Lux should come in. We're going to do Michelle Fox, and then I've got some writing to go. So that's my day for today, is trying to get that outline finished so I can start mass writing that book. Outlining. I'll link up that video so you could check it out too. Maybe that'll help, as well as some. Actually, I'll just put my YouTube channel up and you can see what all the writing tips. Maybe you'll find something on there. I know, because I have some other videos that I did real quick and on writing tips. Maybe you'll find some writing tips you might have. But join us every first and third Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that you can check out our writers panel and you can ask even more questions of even more authors, and you will see that we are all different, and that's okay. That's awesome. All right, so thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. And Megan, Bella, thanks for engaging me in the conversation. I really love that, because it just lets me know that I'm giving you information that you really need and that's helpful. And so thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. That two-way conversation makes it so much better than just me talking. In my personal opinion, I love having that. So thanks for doing that. And thanks for joining in, everyone. If you're catching this on the replay, I always check comments later. So definitely let us know in the replay and I'll respond back to your comments. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to get some work done on Rivers Fire so I can get it out to y'all. Y'all have a great night. Oh, Megan, that makes me feel really good. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. So thanks so much for tuning in. New York Times bestselling author Jamie Brumfield signing off on Rivers Vlog today. And y'all have a great night. Bye.